Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about the Mueller report. Sorry, I know the Mueller report is like boring as dirt, but like we need to talk about it for a little while. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Mueller report and why it doesn't matter in the least, and why the reason it doesn't matter in the least is the Democrats, not the Republicans. All right. So I want to just kind of give my standing here. So really, I am a Republican. I've been a Republican every day of my life since I was 18 years old. And the only time I change my political affiliation is when the Democrats have a candidate that I want to vote for. This has happened twice. So the first time was in 2008. I was very excited about President Obama. I voted for President Obama in 2008. I voted again for him in 2012. And I literally would I was Republican until like 1 year until the time where I needed to switch my affiliation to vote for Obama in the primary. I went all the way through the general election, switched my my affiliation back to Republican, then switched it back in 2012. And then switched it back as soon as the election was over. Switched it back, in 2012. Then switched it back as soon as it was over, right? Then, in 2016, I did not vote for Trump. I did a write-in, and then just like 2 months ago, I switched my affiliation again so that I can vote for Andrew Yang in the Pennsylvania primary. Okay, so that's my standing. I am a Republican who votes Democrat when the Democrats have a clearly better candidate. And comparing Andrew Yang to Donald Trump is like comparing, the best New York pizza that you can buy to Domino's. Like they're not even in the same league, right? Andrew Yang is a much, much, much better candidate than Donald Trump, and I'm very excited to vote for him. All right, so this Mueller report has come out, and it's been released in its full text, except for the redactions. And so we now know, and I listen to a ton of political commentary, and most of my political commentary I listen to on the Democrat side, right? And the reason why is I usually don't agree with the Democrats, right? And the reason why I listen to people I don't agree with is it's a lot more fun and I learn a lot more. I don't want to hear, a bunch of people saying the same thing I already believe. What sense does that make, right? It doesn't make any sense at all to me, right? And the Democrat, the media, so I would say, the Democrat-aligned media has just been besides themselves, wondering why the American people don't care about the Mueller report. And the American people truly do not give two rat's tails about the Mueller report. They're like, this is nonsense. It doesn't matter, right? And they're right. And I'm about to tell you why, okay? But one thing that astounds me is I'm a political commentator, and all these people on the Democrat-aligned media, they're political commentators, right? And when you do political commentary, you have to do analysis. You have to look at historical events. You have to look at policies. You have to look at people. You have to look at trends, and you have to do some analysis, right? And really, right now, the Democrat-aligned media is just flabbergasted that nobody cares about the Mueller report, that they're not outraged by what's shown in the Mueller report, and they don't know why, right? Well, the reason they don't know why is they're not paying attention to history, right? Now, I can tell you why the Mueller report doesn't matter in one word, right? And it is Crimea, all right? So let's talk about Crimea. So in 2014, the Democrats had the presidency, and were in political power in the presidency, right? So in 2014, Vladimir Putin said, you know what, I would like to add 10,000 square miles to my country. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take Russian soldiers, I'm going to remove their insignias, I'm going to give them assault rifles, and I'm going to march them right into the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, right? Now, the Autonomous Republic of Crimea was a republic within Ukraine, right? So there were 2 million self-governing people in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea. This was land that belonged to the country of the Ukraine, of Ukraine, right? And so what Vladimir Putin did was he rolled in troops with assault rifles and no national insignia in February of 2014, right? And President Obama at the time said, hey, Vladimir, are you invading Crimea? And he goes, no, of course not. I'm not invading Crimea. Why would you say that? They don't have any insignia. Of course they're not Russian troops, right? Lied straight to his face, and lied to, and frankly, lied to the rest of the world as well, right? 1 month later, in March of 2014, Vladimir Putin, fully donning his hat as James Bond villain, doing James Bond villain activities, said, guess what? Those are my troops. This is my land. Right? Okay? Took 10,000 square miles, took the land of 2 million self-governing people, insulted and stole land directly from Ukraine. All right? To understand, to put this in American terms, right? This would be like if the president of Canada took soldiers, took Canadian soldiers insignias off their uniforms, marched them into Montana with assault rifles, invaded Montana with assault rifles, declared that Canada had not invaded Montana, and then 1 month later, after those assault rifle holding troops with no Canadian insignia had sat there for 1 month, said, guess what? Montana now belongs to Canada. Right? That's what happened, right? That is exactly what happened. All right. So here's the issue, right? So when Vladimir Putin went full James Bond villain, right, and took 10,000 square miles and added it to his own country, this is the response that should have happened, right? We should have rolled 400,000 U.S. American troops, armed U.S. U.S. Army infantry, armed with M4 carbines, straight up the road to the Kremlin. On the surface streets next to them should have been 5,000 M1 Abrams. And then we should have had a mixed group of 500 Strike Eagles, Raptors, and Lightnings, fighter jets, flying, again, straight to the Kremlin. And we should have said, Vladimir Putin, I'm glad you had fun ruling this country. Russia is now the 51st state of America, and every single inch of your country belongs to America now. And the reason why we did this was you had the audacity to steal 10,000 square miles from the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and taking land from the Ukraine and displacing 2 million self-governing people. And while it's important to us to stop you from doing this, the biggest thing we needed to stop was we could not allow you to write in cement a diagram for every other dictator on this planet on how to steal tens of thousands of square miles of land whenever they want. That's what should have happened, right? So guess what? When the Democrats stood by and facilitated the stealing of 10,000 square miles from the Ukraine, right? From Ukraine, and did nothing, facilitated it, did nothing, right? How on earth does any Democrat in their right mind think they can possibly ask somebody to get upset that the Russians made some mean Facebook posts in 2016? Are you kidding me? Like, they took insignia off of their troops, invaded Crimea, lied about it for 1 month to the entire international community, lied straight to the face of the U.S. president, drew a map for every single dictator on the planet on exactly how to gain 10,000 square miles of land on your border whenever you want, right? And the Democrats did nothing. So guess what? Yeah, when Russia then does some mean Facebook posts in 2016, nobody's going to care, right? And that's because the Democrats have set the bar, right? So that's the issue. I'm a Democrat now. I'm literally a registered Democrat, ready to vote for Andrew Yang, right? But here's the issue. If you are going to let a James Bond villain like Vladimir Putin take 10,000 square miles of land on his border for nothing and never land a single American boot on the grounds of Russia, not take every single inch of their land and make it the 51st state of the United States of America, then yeah, nobody's going to get upset when Russia makes mean Facebook posts. It's ridiculous. The reason the Mueller report means nothing is because Crimea meant nothing when the Democrats chose to make it nothing. So that's the issue. That's why the Mueller report doesn't matter. That's my opinion. I'm more than willing to hear yours. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful day.